Alright, YouTube, I don't know. Sometimes this camera gets closer than it needs to be. I got a couple of these somewhere. Here's one of them. Seems like I can't find the other, but I don't know. It might be down in the whole garage. I looked all up on the shelves and I'd be danged if I could find it. Might have to order me another one because I'm going to need it to finish my fab work, but since I was just sitting on the couch, it's cold and rainy outside. They said we were going to have a blizzard 18, but it didn't happen. Instead, it's cold and rainy, so been having a movie day with the kids, and I got to pondering the project, so I figured I'd come out and make a quick video. That, friends and neighbors, is an air fuel ratio gauge. Purchased new in the box at Auto Fair, never used. Along with some other miscellaneous gauges here. There's a Banks boost gauge. Some tachometers of various styles. And I know I got a box the size of a milk crate down there with other gauges that I bought. Some new, some used. Didn't pay full price for any of them. In fact, I got up here, I got some A-pillar pods I bought. Auto Fair over the years. I'm bad about buying stuff I don't really need just because I think I might use it one day. And as we're coming along with the project, heck, I might use it one day, but just got me to thinking about all this parts and pieces. You know, there's a few new pieces on this truck, but the vast majority of the stuff is old. And, you know, or not old, but pieced together. Let me say pieced together. Some of it's old, some of it's new. All of it's pieced together into whatever happens to be in my mind at that moment in time. And just got me to thinking about the creativity. Shift knob? Perhaps. The creativity that goes into a build like this. I think that's the fun part for me. At one point in time, it was seeing if I could do it without spending any money, because frankly, I didn't have any money. Now, I'm not so much worried about doing it for nothing, but I do think doing it for reasonable is important. Because not only do you make something out of nothing or you repurpose things, yeah, you get to use your creativity to do it. And that's the joy in it for me. It really is enjoyable to create something out of your own mind that nobody else has ever seen before. Or maybe people have done it, but not done it the same way you're going to do it. And it's just, I don't know. My battery's fixing to go dead. I just wanted to express those thoughts. See? What'd I say? Cold and rainy. Oof. Stuff. I got stuff. More than I'll ever need or use. Alright, YouTube, well, it's been a while. I'm coming up on my month of needing to make a video. And got to looking through my old ones, realized that I hadn't really revealed a whole lot of my build other than to tell you I was excited about it. Look at it. I'm telling you, this camera gets way too close. Anyways, I'm really excited about it. So I decided that now's the time when I should do the great reveal of what it is I'm going to put together. And it's not done by any stretch. Most of the heavy mock-up is done. And it's time to start doing the welding and the finish work to make it nice, because it's just kind of pieced together right now. So I told you that I had to rebuild the engine, and I told you that I'm putting a 5-speed in it. So now on to the induction. So let me see if I can get this camera to do right here. Turn it around. Oh yes, all right. So, there it is. Opted for an M90 supercharger. This one's off a 3.8 Ford. It's got a custom snout on it that somebody had already had it on some type of hot rod. I bought it at Auto Fair. But best I could tell, looking online, the rest of the unit hasn't been touched. Just I guess they needed a custom length on that snout, so somebody had made one, but ended up using the serpentine drive that I bought from Mr. Heavy Chevy. He said that he didn't want no serpentine. Said it was too new or something. He was trying to stay cheap and primitive, I guess. But I went ahead and I made a mount. It's just basically a pass-through pipe. It clears the distributor. I don't know if you can see that. That's why I had to pick it up so high, but we are still under the hood. I actually made an apparatus for this thing to mount the carburetor on top, and after I got my belt lined up, I realized that I'd made it too large. So I made this other one and decided to remote mount the carburetor. And also, I got to pondering that it might not be enough, because this is a style competition. So, you know, I bolted a supercharger to it, and that seems simple, right? It's simple. So I sat down and I pondered some more. And, well, ended up with a couple of turbos on it too. So the turbos are new. There are some of those that I showed you on the table a while back. They came in a small block kit that I had planned to put on a truck I've got out in the yard, and I hadn't got around to it yet. I looked around for some used ones. I didn't find anything that were matching sets. So I considered just buying two new, and realized that I could just use those out of that kit right now, because there's no sense in spending new ones just to put these back on the shelf. So I borrowed these out of that kit. Oh, there's the little girl.
Daddy, I just rode in the driveway 2 times and turned in circles.
On your bicycle?
No, in a car.
You were driving a car? Were you driving your brother's car?
Yeah. Austin was pushing the gas. And I was driving the steering wheel.
Well, hey, you got to learn how to drive sometime. Did you learn anything?
Yes!
That is so awesome. Yay! All right, so here we go. I got 2 turbos, and I will get you the specs to them, or I can post them in the comments if y'all are commenting. You might notice right here I got a bungee cord holding my belt in place because I bought one that was an inch too short. Go figure, you do your best measurements and you're still wrong, so what are you going to do? I went ahead and used the factory tubular header flanges, and I cut them off and I re-welded logs to them, turned them around, did what I needed to do to make them match. I also needed to rework the serpentine system. The tensioner used to be located here, and I went with an idler. I added an extra idler for the alternator, and then I moved the tensioner down here. I had to lob a piece off here, and I had to do a little fabrication to make a spot for the tensioner there, but this is the rack that will support all of this, and we were just looking at it and decided that it's ready to come back out, and we can build that outside because the turbos are located currently by the manifolds. Again, there's finish work to be done. I'm going to rework this connection a little bit, make it tighter before I weld it. Everything's just tacked right now. But 2 turbos, they're going to come up 90 straight into there. They'll come into the back. In the back of the divider, the rear entry into the supercharger, I put a divider in the middle, kind of like this, to help the air make the corner. It's again, probably not the most efficient thing in the world, but what I'm going for is about 14 pounds, and I'm hoping to get about 6 straight off idle out of that supercharger. Being the supercharger is a little on the small side, at high RPM it may become a restriction, but with adjustable wastegates on these turbos, I'm hoping that I'll be able to limit my total boost with those, and that the turbos will move enough air to overcome the restriction of the supercharger at RPM. When I was going to run it on a single supercharger, I was going to use a Quadrajet. You saw my pile of Quadrajets in the last video. I actually did do some research, and I talked to Mr. Heavy Chevy about that too, about the modifications necessary. Was going to try and get that right, but after I decided with turbos, I'm going with the Predator. I know the Predator works. I have one on the DeSoto. It's probably going to be rich, and rich is safe. It keeps you from detonating and blowing up, so I can live with a little rich. I didn't build it for gas mileage, so Predator's 390 to 930 CFM, variable by engine demand, or in this case by turbo demand. So oh, I'm so excited. I'm gonna pull it out. I'm gonna finish my fab work, do some welding. That's probably gonna take me several weeks. I have to finish my clutch pedals. I did get them mounted, but I need to put the interior back together, put my brakes back on. They're just hanging. And I'd love to hear what y'all had to say about it. So leave me a comment, drop me a line, come on by, whatever you want to do. And we'll do some more bench racing. So I hope next video is me driving it. So I guess we'll find out. Thanks for watching. So just mocking up a little bit of support for the turbos. We think it's going to look a little something like that. Got that bracket bolted to those brackets under the motor mounts.
Holy, have you guys seen this thing? That's gonna blow whoever he's racing out of the water. My God, what? That's two turbos into a supercharger. I can't even see straight.